So today we are back for yet another podcast out of our Ubuntu Bali podcast series. And today we have invited Trina. So we're going behind the scenes. And why behind the scenes? Because Trina is not just an amazing dancer. She's also the one who is in charge of the Ubuntu Instagram. She is a true artist, and Trina has been working with us for about 6 months or so.
Yeah, since May.
Since May, yeah,
year,
that's more than 6 months. Wow, that went fast. And since Trina is also a dancer, I realized, Trina has a lot of layers. So I thought it would be nice to do a little interview with Trina to get to know her a little bit, get under her skin.
Okay.
And we didn't have any rehearsed questions. We're just doing the usual, spontaneous.
Nervous.
Nervous? Don't be nervous. I'll be kind. I won't ask any hard questions.
Okay.
So, first of all, why don't you tell me a little bit about who Trina is, where's she from, what's your background?
So, my name is Trina, and I grew up in Jakarta, but my parents from Sumatra, so they wandered to Jakarta, they move around, because in our culture, especially for Sumatra people, we believe that you have to move to another place to find a better living. So I started dancing since when I was 8 years old. And it was actually, I could say it was an accident because my mom tricked me to dance the first time. So she just dressed me up like as a kid, of course, you are happy when your parents dress you like a queen, like with this beautiful dress and the hats and jewelry. So I was so happy, and then she enrolled me to this dance community, and that time it was only, we dance only for ceremony or community purposes. So but during the exercises I didn't really like it because the way in my era, it was like the teacher really teach us in a very traditional way, which is if you did something wrong, if you did,
Oh God,
you heard that already. So they could snap you or they could pinch you. So it happened in my time, but I think nowadays it's, I don't know, maybe
get arrested for that stuff.
So that time I don't know, it's like dancing is like two sides for me. First, it's like a discipline, but also painful and tiring. I remember I went home crying every time that time. And then my mom never really cared because because she's just so happy to see her daughter to dance. And especially, I remember one day, I just had a performance together, and then she noticed that I wasn't really happy, and then she told me at home, it was very beautiful. She said something like, Trina, if you keep dancing like that, and you keep showing that face, that grumpy and sad face, nobody will like you. Nobody will
appreciate.
Nobody will receive your gift. And because if you dance, you have to really put your heart out there, because God loves you when you're dancing. So somehow it really inspires me until today to see dance as it's more than just a movement, more than just a performance.
Devotion.
Very sacred act.
And when she enrolled you in that class when you were 8, what kind of dance was it?
It was a torture dance, yeah, but also we have so many Japanese people, so we learn Japanese as well, and we learn Jaipong, we learn kicir-kicir, so it's a lot of combination, but of course the main focus was torture.
So it was sort of traditional Indonesian dances from different places in Indonesia.
Yeah.
And so you did that for how long?
Doing all of my childhood, I danced for that until I grew up. When I was a teenager, I was like, I wanted to try something different, and I don't know why in that era in my school, the hip hop kind of dance was so popular.
Hip hop.
Yeah, hip hop or cheerleader. So I was so intrigued to try that because I saw my senior, she danced hip hop and it was so powerful and I liked that. And so I learned from her and she introduced me to this dance community in Jakarta. And then I appeared in some of the TV programs in Jakarta.
Oh wow! We got a famous person here. Didn't know you kept that a secret.
Yeah, but it was not my best dance era. And then what I learned from that commercial dance was, which is totally different with my experience, which is more sacred and ritualistic. But in this TV program, it was an amazing experience. I think I learned about how to survive as an artist, especially in Jakarta. So I learned more about management and how to really think your performance professionally. Like to hire someone and to make a budget plan and blah blah blah. Yeah, like this kind of things I didn't have in my traditional community.
Budget plan for what? For your life or for what were you budgeting for?
If you want to make a performance, of course you have to hire. In the end, it's like a business.
Yeah.
You hire a videographer, you hire a dancer too, and yeah.
So you were organizing events for dance with other dancers, or you were also performing, or
The one in Jakarta?
yeah.
No, I was just a performer.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but I have this community and I dance in this TV too.
And what would you say is the main focus in the dance, in this traditional dance? What is the essence of it?
And the traditional dance, wow, it's so many. For me, again, because I grew up in a very traditional family, so for me, dance is like praying. It's like you communicate to you can call God or something higher than you. But when you dance, you can be more sensitive and aware with not only yourself, but there's other reality out of yourself. And that's why people say dancers are so sensitive, and I agree with that. It's like a knowledge in the end. The more you dance, the more you are connected to, and so many aspects of life. So in the end, it's like a knowledge. Yeah.
So if you look back at your time when you started and where you are now, when you say that you feel that you become so sensitive, when you say sensitive, I'm thinking energetically, like you become sensitive to your surrounding, but also sensitive to energies in the sphere, if we can call it that.
Yeah.
And so how has that changed you or shaped you with the years, the sensitivity?
So when I was when I was a teenager, it was only about myself. Like I was emotionally unstable. So,
like most teenagers.
Exactly. So whenever I feel like I don't like this dance community, and I just run away and leave. But I think the more I dance in not in studio, which is in nature, in more wider space, and then I could really feel that there's something more beautiful that I haven't discovered yet. Because when I dance, I feel like I am bigger than this physical self. Like I could really touch every corner of the room. And I remember one day, I think one of the best compliment I ever had was when I just left the stage, and then there's one audience came to me and she said, "Oh my God, you look so big on the stage, but I didn't expect you were this small." Actually, so I'm so happy because my teacher also teach me that if you dance, you have to imagine your space is
immense.
Yeah, like you can touch everything. And every people who watch you. So yeah.
And what do you think was your turning point? Like going back to when you started and you were a grumpy kid showing up for the event and not really wanting to do it, and then your mom telling you that, you know, you need to do it from the heart, right?
Yeah.
Was it that moment that shifted for you where you then decided to be more committed, or was it another event?
Yeah, I think the turning point was in my university when I started doing contemporary dance, and then I realized whenever I dance, I could really make connection with people. Like there are people who cry when I dance, and I think it's beautiful. I didn't know these people, but they just came to me and say thank you, and I think it's beautiful. Especially I'm very I'm not very social actually in public. So when I dance, I feel like I can connect with them with not with literal words, but with something else.
With an expression.
Yeah. And so for me, the more I could reach people's heart with my performance, it's like I know this is a gift for me, and I'm happy to be useful for them, to have give them a safe space. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So from 8 years old to university, what was your drive to show up for? How many practices a week did you have?
When I was in traditional community, it was almost every Sunday, three times a week.
3 times a week?
Yeah.
Was it because your mama told you you have to go?
Yeah. Because of my mom.
Okay.
And my teacher, of course.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then eventually you found the beauty in it in order to keep it going for your own sake rather than for someone else's sake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't regret at all.
You're a very obedient child.
Yeah. I know, but now my parents, of course, they don't know what kind of dance that I'm doing. They don't understand contemporary dance. They just know that I still dance.
Okay.
But that's also tricky because they want me to dance as this traditional queen. They can see dance as ritual, but they don't really see it as something promising for a profession. So when I told them that I want to study in art school to be a professional dancer, they were like, we fought.
Okay.
So,
they're like, why did we sign her up for that?
Yeah. I think they regret it somehow because they're the one who introduced.
What have we done?
Yeah. So now I fell in love with the dance and I want to explore it more, but they didn't agree. So I told them I wanted to join this university, an art program in Jakarta, but they said, no, artist is not a profession, and especially what you want to do as a dancer. So that's really a strange point for me because why would you introduce me to this beautiful work if you don't want me to pursue? But then because of that, actually, so I randomly enrolled myself to study philosophy because I wanted to prove to my parents that I could be accepted in one of the best university in Indonesia. And then I was thinking I have to study at least a major that still can connect me with dance. And I believe philosophy can. So yeah, it was very random. But
what do they want you to study?
of course, like doctor or the
Doctor,
yeah.
lawyer,
Yeah.
engineer.
Yeah, that boring stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so here you are at university. You're now enrolled into philosophy, and you're seeing the connection between the dance and the philosophy.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about this? Like, how do you see this? Because that would never have, occurred to me that there is a connection there. So I'm really curious.
Yeah, there are actually lots of, because to be honest, philosophy, I don't know what to learn in philosophy in the beginning, because philosophy is so wide and it's so unlimited, and you can learn anything in philosophy. So I remember my lecture in my last years. They asked us about what is the biggest question in our life, and then it's totally different with teachers, because the conventional teachers will tell you something.
They will tell you what to think.
Yeah, but these amazing philosophy lecturers that I still admire until now, they always ask us about what is your biggest question in life. And then I told my lecturer that I always have so many questions about dance. And then she told me, okay, then write about dance. And then it's so many philosophers that talk about dance, of course. Like one of my favorite is Nietzsche. It's quite depressing to read, but it's very beautiful. And also Ponty.
Sorry?
Ponty.
Ponty?
We are French philosopher.
Okay.
So he talks a lot about our awareness of our surrounding with our body knowledge. So yeah, somehow it very helps me in my creative process.
And do you think that means he was also talking about the sensitivity that you were mentioning before?
Yeah. So you have to really have this openness to your surrounding every day.
And so what would you say is the difference between traditional dance and contemporary dance?
Oh my God, that's a difficult question, because I think if we keep discussing that, it's like a non-stop argument these days in art world, because these days the boundaries is not clear anymore, which one is this and which one is that. But for me, traditional is for me personally, traditional is you have to really stick on the rules. Sometimes you don't really know why you do that, but you feel that with your heart that you have to do it. But contemporary, you have your personal stories in your movements, so you can combine everything from traditional, from yoga, from animal flow, but you have to bring your personal stories in your movements. So you have that freedom in your movements.
And nowadays, what do you still dance traditional dance, or is it mainly contemporary, or what is it?
I do mainly contemporary, because again, for me, it's more expressive and more explorative. And especially my dance research is always in nature nowadays. I try to minimize the habituation of body in studio, because I think dancing in studio is very limited. It's nice if you can see your mirror and you can learn.
So for techniques and these kind of things, it's better.
Yeah.
But for the full expression, you feel the space in nature.
Yeah.
Your habitat.
Yeah. It's so beautiful to dance in nature. So many unexpectedness. And sometimes I always dance in Uluwatu Beach whenever I feel.
If you're ever in Uluwatu, which beach?
Oh my God. No, I wouldn't tell.
Oh, you wouldn't tell. Secrets. You can make it a treasure hunt. Find Trina dancing on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. And that happens a lot when I just dance alone. Usually I just pick a spot that is not so busy, but somehow people are so interested, and they slowly they're like, yeah, like they're picking, sneaking, and then some of them are so lovely. They ask, "Do you need help to record?" Yeah, and sometimes also they ask to exchange contacts and see my works. So, but this dynamic, I think it's a part of the creative process too.
You put a little hat out, donations, busking on Uluwatu Beach.
Yeah, I wish.
In Europe, for sure you would do that.
Oh yeah, I saw it a lot.
Yeah, well, performance, yeah.
Yeah, maybe one day.
And dancers, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you said that contemporary dance is a personal expression. Was that how you said it? Yeah. So tell me, what is your personal expression in your dance?
Okay, I can be so emotional if I talk about this. So there was a moment when I think there was the darkest moments of my life. I was super sick, and then I just lost two of my good friends and my teacher, and I lost many things. And I don't know why, every time I feel sad or lonely like that time, I always feel the urge to just sit alone and stare at the ocean. So yeah, whenever I feel stressed or overwhelmed, I just run away to the beach and I sit alone and smell the ocean breeze. It's like very healing for me. And I don't know what is that, but yeah, I don't know. I still cannot explain what is that. But so during that time, I always go alone to the beach. And also somehow just sitting there for hours, I go back home and I feel stronger. So maybe that sounds crazy for people, but that's how I felt. So I see that the ocean has a very magical power that I don't know what is that. How can I just stare at them and they already make me feel better? And then also that time I noticed we have it's like non-stop news about dead or injured or stranded marine animals at the beach. So this phenomenon somehow makes me feel like it's exactly the same like my body, like my situation. So when the ocean is sick, I am also sick. And because I think the ocean has been great to me, has been a healer, has been a teacher for me. So I want to do my best to be more involved with the ocean. And I was so curious, like what's wrong under there? Why we keep getting this news non-stop and especially I love marine animals. I grew up watching Finding Nemo.
You grew up what? Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo, you know that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first favorite movie when I was a kid.
No.
So when I see these fish and marine animals, I always believe that they have stories too, and they dance too. So finally, I decided to dive more active. And if we can talk about plastics every day, but then when you really go down there and dive and you see this fish really put their plastic in their mouth, it's so emotional. And especially the ocean is something that is very amazing, beautiful for me. So when I see this literally in front of my eyes, I feel like the problem is really real and close to me. And being in the ocean, to see these animals, it makes me feel like suddenly like my problem go away. It's like my problem is just super tiny compared to this beautiful, magnificent blue. So that's why now every time I go to the beach, every time I dive, I always try to pick up every plastics I found. Combining in my strong experience as a traditional dancer, which is very grounded and also resilience, and combining with the fluidity of the ocean and to explore my emotional landscape, like as deep as the ocean. It's like combining these two things to be grounded and to be fluid, yeah, but deep at the same time.
So, okay, so obviously you're a woman of nature, and specifically the ocean, and you started connecting more in the ocean, not just from the beach, but also going diving into it. And watching, the horror show of our destructive nature as human pest. Pest and anyway, that's a different topic. And but also seeing the vastness of the ocean and how much it's nourishing you by the sounds of it, right? Have you ever watched The Big Blue?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite movies.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that was my connection to the ocean. Like I fell in love. I think it's the movie I watched the most, and even the music, everything is so beautiful.
Eric Sierra,
yeah.
Very beautiful movie.
Yeah. I even went to the island where they started filming the movie, Amorgos, only because of the movie. Back then, there was nothing there. There was one bar called the Big Blue.
Oh my God.
And that was it.
Okay.
Dragged my friend along. Going to Amorgos.
Wow.
Yeah, so I understand your connection to the ocean. I really do. I've spent a lot of time on the ocean, on boats, and it is definitely a nourishment, and but I think in general in nature, right? Being out in nature, like even me, just when I feel like I need to recharge, I just jump on my scooter and drive up to the mountains and hug some trees. It's so beautiful. Or the ocean, just going down to the beach when feeling that need of grounding. So, Trina, you're going to give us a workshop.
Oh yeah.
I will be there. And so it's taking place in Ubuntu Bali at what time?
4 p.m. until 5:30 p.m.
With that, or what is it that you are hoping to share with the people who participate?
So actually, I just gave a little disclaimer in our podcast before. So I would make 3 different sessions. First, we will learn some grounding technique from some basics of Indonesian classical dance. And then the second session, I will invite the participants to imagine how they feel if they're in the ocean, or just bring that awareness of the ocean in your body, and also metaphorically your inner ocean, which is your emotions, and that emotions, that what will guide you. I think that's more important to listen to your feelings. That's why we will explore that inner ocean together. And the third one is, I think I don't want to make a disclaimer for this one because it's the surprise.
Oh,
But it's a keyword. It's the personal stories again. So yeah, in the end, how you can combine these two into your own movements.
so it's about how to find your personal expression, how you explain contemporary dance. So introducing people to find some tools to tap into that and then be able to put it out there.
To express that.
Amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm nervous too.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be amazing. I mean, I've danced with you and I know you're an amazing dancer, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah. And what a beautiful gift to be able to share to people, because I think nowadays it's so important to connect with our heart, connect with our emotions. I mean, I grew up in the West, and I know me and a lot of my friends, we were told to keep it down. Don't, you know, if you're angry, whatever you do, you're not going to express that anger. And so me coming from a Hungarian family, it's all about expressing. So there was a conflict, right? But I really feel that tapping into our inner world is crucial in order for us to be healthy overall.
True.
And I mean, I could go on about that, but I think that it's such an amazing gift to share. And there's so many ways of having access to that. But I mean, definitely I know that dance does it for me as well, where something takes over and it's not me anymore. It's just something moving through me. And there's no choreography. Like I've never been good at any sort of partner dance or any of that. Like just leave me to dance on my own in some corner. And give me space. Because there will be arms flying.
I agree.
Right? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
I think, I'm so grateful that dance really exists. So I think that's the most beautiful language. And actually, I think in Indonesian dance very connected to the ocean, because we're a country with thousands
of islands, of course, surrounded by water.
So we are very dependent to the ocean, especially. So remember when you put your trash where it will go. And especially for me, when I'm being there in the ocean, I feel like it's like dance. It's like a world without words. It's a play of energy. If you see something scary in the ocean, something that you didn't expect, and then you just move relentlessly.
Or don't move at all.
It depends on your persona, right? Like what energy you will give. If you splashing too much, then maybe you will scare away some fish, or you will attract the predator.
Sharks.
So it's all energy playing, like dance for me. And it's so beautiful to really not listen or talk to anybody at all. Just like dance, basically. And you just focus on your breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am super excited. We got 2 more weeks, and no, it's more than 2 weeks.
It's more.
Yeah, end of the month. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful story. I really felt you. Really, I felt you in my heart as you were talking, and I could feel the ocean in my body as you were talking.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Too heroic for them, like saving the ocean. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's people who are maybe not reached that journey yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully they will.
Yeah. That's why I want to use every small action I could with my art. It's dedicated for the ocean, my greatest teacher. Ocean has been he inspired me already years. And I keep thinking what I can give back to the ocean rather than just using the ocean as my muse, my model, and what can I give back? Yeah.
Maybe your love.
Yeah.
Maybe that's enough.
Yeah.
I think you already are.
Yeah. And I will not stop.
Of course not. Of course not. All right, my dear.
Okay.
I'll see you on the dance floor.
See you. Be ready to cry.
I'm there.
Or me will cry as a teacher. It's so embarrassing.
Maybe we all cry.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
wish.
Yeah. Get it
Let's
out.
cry together.
Join together. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you hopefully on the dance floor.
Namaste.
Namaste.